everybody. Welcome back to another Leader Spotlight video. Today we have Kristen Cagle with us, and so we're just going to get it started. Kristen, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, what you do, how long you've been serving in student ministry, all of that.
Like Mel said, I'm Kristen. Teach the ninth grade girls. I've been with them since I think it was like around Christmas time of their seventh grade year that Jenna Carries and I joined them. So it has been a fun experience. It was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I have loved every minute of it. Let's see, I have 2 kids and a husband. I work in the hospital. I'm a nurse. He travels a lot for his job. So right now it was part of his time that he was going to be home. So it's kind of nice. He's getting to stay home a little bit longer than normal. So that's been really nice.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably totally different from your normal, right? Like you're working and the kids are like with other family and he's gone. So like now you've been like you were expecting time together, but now you've had like all of your time together. So how's
All
that
the time.
going?
It's actually been pretty good. We've like a lot of neighbors have come out and they'll be like, "How are you guys doing?" Or like anybody will ask, and I'm like, surprisingly, like it's gone really well. We've really enjoyed it. We always joke, we're like, ask us again in a month and we'll might have a different story, but it's actually been amazing. Like we've had so many nice days that we have done so many like outside things that we can. We were going to Long Hunter for a long time until they shut that down. But we live over in Providence, so we're on those trails all the time. I see Angie McSpadden all the time.
Shout out to
Um,
you, spatted on here.
Shout out to Angie. So we have biked a lot. We bike every day, miles every day, just all over the place. So we have really taken up biking, and we got a fire pit. So we do like bonfires every night, roast marshmallows. It's been kind of nice. Like I have a calendar that's on the fridge, and my April has nothing on it, and so it's just so weird, but it's so nice.
Yeah, such a strange time. We were walking just the other day and we were talking like how many people are new to biking versus how many people had bikes before this. Like I wonder how many bikes are just brand new because they're everywhere. Like we're now
Yeah.
this biking community. I'm sure students are finding crazy ways to still meet up with friends, even if it's outside on a trail or something. So
Yeah, I think meeting up to walk is a great idea.
oh yeah, I mean it's outside exercise, vitamin D.
It's
We
a
all need
cute
to get out of our houses anyway. So what a great gift that the Lord has given us. That this has like been in spring. I've been thinking about that. Like I'm so glad this is not the dead of winter. I think we would
It
all be.
would be a different story. Yeah, it would definitely be a different story. And so I think that's why God did not do it then. That's why we are in it right now when we can see the sunshine and like just enjoy things that like my kids are playing with like leaves and like water and buckets and like making soup and just like using their imagination, which like we strive to try to get them to do all the time, but like just because of the culture we're in now and everybody's so busy and we're just all so selfish, like it's just been so nice to like sit back and watch them just like use simple things. And like I mean they really have rarely even played with their toys. Like we don't like they are just using like nature and just outside so much, so it's been really nice to see that. And so I hope like we can remember this and like take that part with us like after when we can go back to the craziness of life.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that for us, we keep talking about going back to normal, but I think most of us we probably don't really want to go back to like the full normal that we had before. That we want to make changes or we want to realign our priorities. So, like, what's something that you have noticed or learned or so just I guess seeing in your life right now that you hope to be able to kind of do differently once we're out of this, or that this is all kind of over, something small change or big change or anything.
Yeah, I mean I hope to find a way to like I mean, I don't feel like we're like super busy. Like I feel like I meet some people who are really busy and I'm like, how do you do that? But I feel like for us, our busyness is really busy. So like somehow figuring out how we're going to, there are things we don't need. I mean, I have been without my Target trips, and I'm like, I really don't need to go there that much. Or like just, there's just a lot of places where we have found time that I'm just like, we're going to continue this like as we go, and like making outside and like biking at night a priority. And I feel like we have just talked so much more than we like normally have, because we don't have to worry about like getting anything else done, like because I don't have homework and lunches to pack, and I don't have to worry about like setting alarms and getting up and rushing kids out of the door. Like we've just been so present, so it's so nice. And so I hope to like remember to take that with me, is like just be present and like some of those things that I think are like so important to try to get done, like are not. Like some things can wait. There are bigger things that like, should be more important in my life.
I love what you just said about being present in all of our situations, whether that's at home or at work, to those things. But can you tell us a little bit for yourself? Like you work in the hospital. What has that been like during all of this?
Yeah, it is very different. It's weird to still navigate. Things change there like daily. I am what's called PRN at work, so I don't always work every week. I kind of fill in holes as needed. So some weeks I'm getting to work, some weeks I'm not because our census is so low. The hospitals really are not as busy as I think some people think or what they were predicting them to be. So it's been kind of weird. But when you first get there, like you have to get asked a series of questions. Like I get my temperature taken every time before I can even go into the building, and that's so different. And so you get marked with like a tag that says you've been checked, and then you go to your unit. And so I work in the ICU with kids, so we are considered an area where any kid who has COVID would be. So we have to change scrubs every day. And then like if they're pending and we don't know if they have it or not, like there's just a lot of steps that we have to take, like to go in and out of their rooms. And it's just been really crazy because even families who don't have COVID are not even like, they're there for like, we do oncology at our hospital. And so we have a lot of like cancer kids who are like either newly diagnosed or going through treatment. And so, they can't have both of their families there sometimes, or they can't have a sibling come visit them like they normally could just because of all this. So that has been really hard, but it's been really neat to see how the community has like been so supportive of like the healthcare. Every time I go, I have like a card from somewhere, or a church has donated something, or a restaurant has given us food. And so it's been really neat to see people's kindness, like just how much they are showing to us and just loving on us. And it helps, like just even a simple card, like somebody saying something to me, like is just so encouraging and motivating, and kind of reminds you like why you do what you do. Because sometimes you can get stuck and just be like, why am I doing this? Like, this is so hard. But it's really helpful, and it's really amazing to see, people just go out there and just share their kindness and like just give things to you.
That is so cool. Are there anything like are there needs that you guys have at the hospital or as healthcare workers that like students or our church can give or at least pray for? Like what would be things that we could help do to just kind of partner with you in that?
Yeah, I mean, I think praying obviously like is one of the easiest things that we can do for everybody, because there is a lot of healthcare workers who are not getting to work at all. Like they are getting either laid off or they're not getting their hours. So I think praying for them, it's just really hard. Like especially when all this is going on as a healthcare worker, like it's ingrained in me. Like I want to help. So like on shifts that I don't work, I'm like, I need to be at the hospital. I need to be helping. But like luckily, like because of what we've done and because we've stayed home, like people are not as sick. And so it's been good in that sense. But praying for them. And I mean, anytime somebody wants to write like a nurse a card or just a card of encouragement that could be given to a patient, I will gladly take them and deliver them. We have a child life specialist at the hospital, and she could deliver those to different people.
That is so cool. I hope that students are listening in on that and taking advantage. I think that that would be such a great way just to pass on love and hope, and even an opportunity to share our faith with them. Because I know in this time, like so many are fearful and so many have questions, and it's just a great opportunity for all of us to really live out, our faith and share the hope that we have in that. So I love that. That's so cool. Just an inside perspective for all of us that we kind of speculate or hear from the news or just assume we know what's going on, but to really hear
Right.
what's going on is really cool. Um, During all of this, whether that's been at home or at work or even just still here at the church with student ministry, like what is something that you're just sensing that God is teaching you in all of these things? And whether that could be, through your kids or through your students, like your girls in your class, through anything, just what is something that the Lord is teaching you through this?
When you mentioned like it's easy to be fearful right now, I definitely have a personality that because of what I do and I work in an ICU, like I always see the worst, or I see the things that happen that aren't like usual, like that are just not common. And so I tend to like go to like a fearful side or a worry side. And, I let that consume me, and I kind of forget like I need to rely on God and like trust God. And it's like I know that in my head, but I can't get my head and my heart to connect. And so I've had many people who know me, and they know me in that sense. And they're like, Kristen, I just cannot believe like how you're handling all of this. Like, and I can't either. Like, honestly, like, I'm just like, you know, I feel like I should be like so worried and like wrap myself in a suit all the time and like just, you know, and I have some friends who are just like they are having a hard time dealing with it, but I have felt like so peaceful about it all like from the very beginning. And like I I'm just like God has shown me like Kristen, like if you truly like rely on me, trust in me, I'm going to take care of you. And so like I have never felt that more present than like this time. Like I just like some days I'm like, okay, today's like the day you're going to get worried about it and be fearful. And like I'm not. And so it's been so amazing to just like let this be God's time, God's plan for me, and just, you know, rely on Him.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think we all need to hear that for everybody, whether our fears are about the actual sickness or just not being able to do normal life, you know, and um, anxieties of just not being able to be with people and not being able to, you know, be with the ones we've loved. We talked to some students a couple weeks ago, and one of the biggest things they all said that they couldn't wait to do was like hug their grandparents. And I just think that that is, you know, something that we take for granted is just the relationships we get to have and being with others, hugging them, shaking hands, things like that. So I think we all just need to be reminded that there is peace and that overcomes all fear. So thank you for sharing that. What would you say to students to just encourage them during this time until things do kind of get back into a normal flow while they're still kind of stuck at home, or just things that you would encourage them to do?
Um, I guess I would encourage them to just be present. Like, don't waste this time. I remember at the beginning, like a couple weeks went by, and I felt like I was like, I'm not really changing my ways. Like, I'm not doing anything, and I just was like, I will not come out of this and look back and be like, you wasted this like big experience that was going on. And so I just encourage you to be as present as you can. And if you're fearful or scared, like that's normal and that's okay. Like talk to anybody, talk to your family, talk to any of your teachers, anything like that. Like it's totally normal. And so just be present, pray for people, go back to writing if you want to, like send a letter, just send a text, like let somebody know, like, hey, I've been thinking about you. Like you just have no idea sometimes what words can do. And so I've just seen that a lot lately. So it's just like, it's something so simple. It's free. It's not, you know, hard to do. So just reach out to other people.
Yeah, love that. Love that. I think that we've been talking about that too. Just we don't want to leave this and still be the exact same and still be unchanged by it. So being present, I love that. And then I think we're all learning like the simplicity of loving each other differently, like with acts of service or with words and letters and things like that. Just it doesn't always have to be time together, but just these small little
Right.
acts. So I love that. That's so great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kristen, and sharing what is going on in your life and what God's teaching you. We're grateful for you in the student ministry. And so, any last words you want to share with anybody?
No.
No worries. We are so grateful that you joined us, and we are looking forward to the time that we do all get to be back together again on a normal space. So, thanks for today, students. We will see you next time.